there's a wild valley in Wales full of tribal community and a chieftain on a mission to bring culture back to the Western world.
I followed my own rebellious nature. I rejected what was on offer, understood that there had been a great forgetting of what people really are, what freedom really looks like, what tribe really looks like, how people could be together. And I found myself creating a small teepee encampment here in this beautiful wild Welsh valley, which later flowered into a whole new civilization. A village grew up, Spirithorse was born, which became much more settled and became this village of temples and altars and sacred spaces that have evolved over 27 years. And this magnificent valley that somehow we became married to. A small group of people attempting to do something that most people don't even understand, to create a ceremonial village, to create some sense of tribe. Nevertheless, found enough resources amongst all of us to buy £500,000 worth of land just to see it go wild. What the people wanted was to see it go wild. Not to be self-sufficient, nor to farm it, just to see what's the original face of the land. Her original face, a goddess whose intelligence should somehow be praised and felt. We use a small part of the land and the rest is there to commune with and repose, for nature's face to leap up. That might seem like a very ordinary thing, but in Britain it's extremely rare that there's a few hundred acres of land that's completely let grow wild. For the violets to return, for the carpet of flowers to return, and while the land is rewilding, to let the people rewild. What does their own natural individuality flower and blossom into when it's nourished, when it's addressed, when it's spoken to, when it's praised? And what does the tribe look like when they're honouring each other, praising each other, giving permission to each other to follow spirit? Not with rules and regulations, not with a set religion, but with an acknowledgement of the endless creativity that we have. And honouring what we love, what we most truly care about and most deeply want to share. With the wood smoke in our noses, cooking on the open fire, in order to have culture, bring in ritual and story and all the ancient roots of our pagan culture, our belonging to the earth, our reverence for the natural world that is part of who we really are before the great forgetting began, before the downfall of civilization began, and put them together to make something that is now a Spirithorse community, that's more a tribe, exploring the human possibility in a way that resembles the ancient village, that thousands of years of antiquity and the roots of who we are as people. Ancient, wild, magically alive, exuberant and extravagant. It's a place to experiment with being together, remaking culture, renewing culture, finding a way to be with the earth, be with our kids, be with our old people, be with each other, have our love affairs, find God, mystery in the universe together. It's only 5 years this land's been going wild, and there you are. There's something about it when a tree has not been planted, it's not owned by anybody, it's just nature herself, the land going, we're here, we're back. That invisible hand that somehow puts the seed there, and there's the miracle of it. If we plant the tree, then it's kind of, oh, how are our trees doing? We have some ownership or connection that's like that, but when you leave the land alone, it's like, it does it. And that mysterious it can be communed with. What happens when that original intelligence is just left alone? That's something we need to wash our eyes to see, rather than we want to see an oak forest or replanting schemes like the farmers get the grants for down there, where they just buy 10,000 oaks and plant them in rows. That's reforesting, but it's not the same as letting the miracle happen. It's not re-miracling. It's not bringing back the mystery and majesty of the whole thing. And whether it's an oak here, or whether it's a small flower, or whether it's just the way the shale and the rocks are formed, it's the Tao, it's the flow, the magic of the natural world. That is what we can learn to see, and that's what we can bathe in again. And you would think it would be everywhere, but we've so domesticated the world, we've so tamed it, we've so brought it in to our need for order and our need for control and our need for straight lines, to allow that chaos and beautiful flow that occurs when nature takes her course, which involves letting go and allowing. And perhaps something that we want to grow won't grow, something else will happen. That inside us also has to happen. We as we originally were. And if we are to have what you might call a true culture, or a culture that's, really worth being part of, we would have to get in touch in the same way. What's natural in us and what is forced? to be touched by the miracle of nature and be touched by the miracle of rewilding and think, well, perhaps I could become natural, so that the separation between nature and us begins to dissolve, and we begin to discover what it would be like to be ourselves naturally, which is wild, but also what we're like with a wild and natural culture. So it doesn't mean that we lack finesse or beauty, but that we rediscover that, find out what it's like. But if we are going to tame all of nature, if we're going to cut all the grass, if we're going to have all the hedgerows, if we're going to domesticate everything, we lose the face of the wild. And we lose that companionship of the wild in plants, in animals. We don't know why these squirrels are in the trees. We don't know how this grass knows when to come up. We don't know why one year there's lots of mountain ash and the next year there's more oak. Why the juice comes up 1 month earlier, 1 month late. There's a miracle of climate, a miracle of exchange going on. And we have our little scientific knowledge, but we don't really know anything. We start off with an explosion of fire, rocks in space, and then the presence in one place of water in liquid form. And give it 1 billion years, and we have these conversations, and we have this possibility for the intelligence of the universe to start talking to itself. Pretty wild, huh?
I made this video in celebration and honour of Shivam O'Brien, Spirithorse, and that wild Welsh valley that helped grow me. This is a recomposition of the works and the art of the YouTube channel, The Art of Peaceful Revolution. Check them out. And if you'd love to find out more about Shivam or Spirithorse or the Valley, check out spirithorse.co.uk.